Okay, readers, I have a huge pile of possibilities for Historathon 2024. So let's get started. Hi there, I'm Lori. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm happy that you're here and I'm excited to talk about Historathon 2024. I have a huge pile of possibilities and I would like to get through more than one of these books for sure, but there's no guarantee certainly that I'm going to read all of these because that would be a pretty ambitious read, especially since I'm also doing nonfiction November. So this Historathon is hosted by Lindsey at Lindsey's Little Library, Layna at Layna's Bookshelf, and Gloria at Gloria Z. Thompson. So if you're not familiar with them, they are all great YouTubers and they're all hosting this event. And there are 9 prompts. Now, some of these will work for more than one prompt, and I'm not certain yet which one I'm going to assign to any of them, but some of these will work. So let me just kind of go through what's a possibility when I get to them. So the first one is a loose end for me. The Diamond Eye by Quinn. Those of you who follow me know that I started this a couple of months ago and I DNF'd it softly, but maybe forever. I'm still not sure. I was really struggling with this. And then I actually read The Briar Club and loved it. So I thought, I'm going to find out what's missing for me and I'm going to try to maybe get this done. So this would fulfill the prompt of read a book featuring a famous historical figure, whether they're the protagonist or significant character. And the book is based on a real life person, a real life sniper, essentially, during the start of the war in Russia and Ukraine. So her name was Lady Death, or her nickname was Lady Death. And so I'd like to finish this. It sounds right up my street, right? I didn't get to it. All right. This one would follow the prompt historical romance, and it's also a loose end for me. The Christy Affair by Nina de Gramont. I started this in 2022, maybe, when it first came out. I purchased it. I was so excited about it. It is a fictional account of a time where Agatha Christie disappeared, and there were never any certain answers about why she disappeared or where she went. This book supposes that her husband Archie was perhaps having a relationship with someone else and she had had enough and went away, I guess, to sort things out. I don't know that there's any information that would lead us to believe that that's true, but I haven't finished it, so I don't know and I don't want to know. However, this one is about Agatha Christie and her husband and I guess a woman that they knew probably. So there's probably some, this could have happened kind of vibes in there. This one, I'm not certain which prompt this will fulfill, but it is a book I want to get to, and it is being billed as historical fiction. I wasn't absolutely sure because the synopsis of this is about a woman who lives on or a girl who lives on an island with her father, who teaches her about the world through her senses, in particular, scents stored in glass bottles, and they have live together, and then one day her curiosity gets the best of her and something occurs that makes her have to find out some more information. I think this would follow the prompt historical mysteries. Read a historical mystery or thriller, the blend of setting with a suspenseful plot. I would say that's true. She's on an island and we're not sure. I'm not sure what happens to her, so I'm already in suspense. So there's that. The next one is also a bit of a loose end, and that is The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. I just talked about this recently as a loose end, but also this would fulfill the prompt historical era exploration, which is to choose a book set in a historical era you're unfamiliar with, or if you've read mostly Victorian novels, try something in Rome or the Roaring Twenties. This one is set in Australia, and it is definitely historical. I think there's 2 timelines, which most of Kate Morton's books are, but this one I have been wanting to get to for a long time. This is about a young girl whose father tells her that she was adopted, which she did not know, and she was abandoned and wasn't able to remember her name. And she's trying to understand after her father dies, like where she came from and who her parents were. Sounds really great to me. Why haven't I picked it up? I have no idea. Okay. Let's go to War and Conflict, and this one would follow that prompt, and I've had it for a while too. This is The Elephant of Belfast by S. Kirk Walsh. This one is set in the 1940s. Hetty Quinn is a zookeeper, and she is supporting and caring for an elephant. And then, of course, there are rumors of war, and then they are in need of, I don't want to know too much, but I think they're in need of care. So she, I think, ends up in hiding with the elephant. I'm not certain, but it seems like a good premise to me. I keep trying to put these here and I want them here. So this one is going to follow the prompt social issues / cultural perspectives. This is Trespasses by Louise Kennedy. I've had it for a couple of years, and this was one that was nominated for one of the book prizes that I was following, and I felt like this would be something that would interest me. It is set in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, and this is about Cushla, who lives in this quaint little village, and she is a teacher by day and she bartends by night, and she meets a man named Michael, who is a barrister, pretty well off, very seductive, very different than her, though. His political leanings are extremely different. And so this is really about that story of what happens to their relationship, also what happens in Northern Ireland, which I know nothing about. But I would say that there are definitely some social issues and cultural perspectives in this one. So I'm excited about that. This one is not particularly set in a war and conflict situation, but the war and conflict prompt did remind me about this. It may go back and forth a little bit as well, but this is one of my favorite authors, Kate Atkinson. This is about the recovery of the Great War, and this is about the nightlife that is born after the war and as a result of all the things that they have gone through. This one just, I don't know, this cover and the premise of it, where this woman is Nellie and she has 6 children and she is doing some things, I think, that are it says ruthless and also ambitious to be able to survive. So there's a dark underbelly and a world that makes it easy to get lost. Sounds intriguing and also propulsive, and I would like to get to that too at some point. And then the last one is War and Conflict as well, a book that's set in a war. And this one is Belgravia by Julian Fellows. I've tried to read this a few years ago, did not choose it. And this one is about 1815. British society is gathering at Brussels to this party that you will be aware of if you're familiar with that era of time. And this is the evening of the Battle of Waterloo. So this starts there and then goes on to follow this family, Sophia Trenchard, and some other Trenchards who are upwardly mobile. They move to Belgravia, and there are repercussions that will occur as a result of that. I love this cover. I love Julian Fellows. I love Downton Abbey. Why have I not gotten to this? I don't know. I don't know. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books that I could possibly read for Historathon, and a couple of them loose ends, so I could jump back in where I left off, perhaps, although the Christy affair, it's been so long now, I don't know that I would remember what happened in that book, but that is my TBR, or my pile of possibilities, really, for the month of November and for Historathon. So if you're joining me in Historathon reading this year, let me know what you're reading. Let me know which of these would appeal to you if you were going to choose, and let me know if you've read any of them, as I always say, because I love to hear your thoughts about these. And a lot of you, Scott, Kaylin, Noni, Sandy, we read a lot of the same books. Jane, I mean, we're just Molly. There's just so many of you that read a lot of the same books I do. So I'm curious to see what you're reading or what you've already read. So thanks for watching today. Thanks for joining me. And as always, happy reading. Bye.